is still a Steeler for now. There were reports overnight that he was headed to Buffalo, but this morning the Bills GM said they've moved on from a potential deal. And then there were other reports that AB did not want to be traded to Buffalo. So the Steelers want to move Brown today, but now there are reportedly only a few options left on the table. So Shannon, how will this one play out?
I didn't see and I don't see someone giving up a first rounder for Antonio Brown, especially, Skip, because it's going to require you to give up compensation and then reward him with compensation because he's made it abundantly clear, and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, has made it abundantly clear he wants guaranteed money. He wants to rework that contract.
Yep.
Everybody knows that the Steelers cannot bring Antonio Brown back into that locker room. Mm-hmm. They know that. If I know that, Skip, I know you have to discard something. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to give you the price that you're asking for. You moving across, Skip, you live in Tennessee. Now, I know you got to move cross country, and you're going to move into, say, 1,000 square foot apartment. But you had a home when you were in Tennessee. You had a grand piano. You had a big old, a 10 by 10 bed. I said 10 by 10 because I got one of them. Had to leave it in Atlanta, though. But anyway, I know that, Skip, but you leave it. I know that. You want $15,000 for the grand piano. You want $10,000 for the bed. I'm not giving you that. You got a 1,000 square foot apartment. No, you can't take that with you. This is what I would do for you, Skip. Or you can take it with you and try to sell it once you get out there. Now, you're going to make the mistake because there's a draft coming up, Skip, where I can get players and I don't have to give up any compensation, and they don't have the bad habits that Antonio Brown has. So with that being said...
they're not 31 years of age.
Not 31 years, which is not old, Skip, because I still believe Antonio got 4 or 5 great years still remaining in him.
But he's still 31, but go ahead.
He's 31.
Okay.
But with that, for me, the Raiders have the compensation, Skip. I didn't know this. They got 4 picks in the top 35.
And Gruden raved about his workout.
Oh, no, I've never seen a guy. We're going to give up one of the first-round picks for him then.
I read yesterday the Raiders are out.
Yeah.
Out.
Now, when the price...
Who's in at this point?
When the price falls down a little bit, Skip, I like it because you know right now, I think the value is too high.
Okay.
I think that price needs to come down. But Antonio Brown has done himself no favors.
Yeah.
He's done himself no favors, Skip. The Steelers, look, I think the Steelers have done some things wrong organizationally. I think they've enabled Ben Roethlisberger to feel emboldened to say and to do things that has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Maybe Antonio Brown is the only one that's come out and verbally said it.
Yep.
But Antonio Brown has handled this awful. And teams are looking at this. How many teams have the structure, organizationally, locker room wise, to be able to handle a situation like this? Skip, he caught 104 balls for 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns, and he's unhappy. How do you make him happy? And he made $20 million last year. So how do you make him happy, Skip? Some teams are going to have to ask themselves those questions.
Yep.
But for a first-round pick, second-round pick, third rounder, fourth rounder, come on over here, Antonio.
Okay. So I'm on record as saying you would have to give me a third-round pick. Give me a third-round pick to take him
off your hands.
And his baggage and his contract off your hands.
Yeah.
Because that contract is going to count 22.1 against your cap next year. But to your point, you've just begun with him because remember his little IG post that he did? He was on the elliptical machine when he christened himself Mr. Big Chest.
Oh, yeah.
Remember this?
I do.
And the line was, if your team got guaranteed money, tell them, call me. AB can't do no more unguarantees. So he wants upfront, restructure, guaranteed money.
Skip, you knew the contract that you signed with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
When you signed it, you knew year 2, year 3, year 4 had no guaranteed money in it.
And by the way, it has 3 years left on it. 3?
Yeah.
3 years left. So, now, all I know is what I read and hear.
Right.
So I heard, we even debated, we did a topic one day about Arizona, Kyler and AB. They're out. Then we talked about Gruden, we just talked about, they're out. Then a lot of people are going off, Aaron Rodgers needs him in AB, right? They're out. These are all reportedly out. Buffalo was the big talk last night, and now they say they're out. Titans are out. The Redskins are out. The Jets are out. The market will dictate your fate. And it's shrinking, and it's showing you that your worth on the open market is not what you declare it is on your market, on your internal
Let me ask you a
market.
question, Skip Bayless. The Atlanta Falcons make Julio Jones available, and the going rate is a first-round pick.
Yeah.
The Houston Texans make DeAndre Hopkins available. The going rate is a first-round pick.
Okay. And you know what my Cowboys gave for Amari Cooper? They gave a first-round pick.
Skip, but people now, Amari Cooper played unbelievable once he got to Dallas.
Yep.
He was some straight-up garbage in Oakland. Now, Skip.
Okay.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Not early, but the last year was not good.
Not good at all.
All right.
Even though when he had some good years, it was the consistency that concerned people.
All right.
And he got a first-round pick.
He got a first-round pick, and it was highly controversial, but he got it.
Yeah.
Okay? So that leaves the locker room that you're talking about that could bring him in and sort of make him part of the whole, and that is the Patriot locker room.
Yes.
We've seen them try this before. So we saw that they brought in Darrelle Revis on a one-year shot. Remember this in 2014? And they gave him, for the year, $12 million. But it was just a one-year deal.
Right.
So would AB agree to just tear up the last 3 years and say, I'll do a make-good 1 year and you give me $15 million or whatever just to play for a ring with Tom Brady? I don't think he would do it.
Because that's what he had in Pittsburgh.
Right.
It's basically a one-year deal because since you got no guaranteed money and it's not going to hurt us, yeah, we give you, because it basically was 12.35. That's what he was going to make, I think, this year.
Yeah.
A one-year deal.
Belichick just doesn't do this. He's not going to give you a draft pick on top of having to pay that much money.
Not that high of a draft pick. What did they give up for Randy Moss, Skip? A third, a fifth rounder, sixth rounder?
Fourth round? I can't even remember. But he was on the outs with Al Davis. He quit on the Oakland Raiders. He was a steal on the open market because a lot of people thought he was done.
Yes.
Like he had just quit on football.
And Randy
And he didn't make much money, not for what he was. Right?
And that's the thing.
Okay.
Some people think AB quit on the Steelers.
Okay. All right. You got it. So what did Bill Belichick do a couple of years ago? He did go into free agency, so he didn't have to give up a draft pick for Stephon Gilmore.
Yes.
Model citizen, who's now only 28 years of age right now.
Right.
But he gave him 5 years, $65 million with 40 guaranteed, 13 a year. He's scheduled to make 13. Did he live up? Has he been worth that?
Yes.
You would say yes.
Absolutely.
Because you were making the case he could have been the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he had not a good year last year. He had a great year last year.
He was all pro. Went to the Pro Bowl.
So you mix and match a lot of interchangeable cogs on defense, but you got it. You need one corner, and you got one, right? Because you let Malcolm Butler go, and you wouldn't even play him in the Super Bowl.
A lot of that, Skip, look, you want guys that can play. But if the guy that can play really well is going to destroy your locker room in the process, you don't ever want a guy that's in your locker room. That's the impression, because sometimes guys are so talented, guys will naturally gravitate towards them. And then they, like, hold on.
So the action.
If I act like this, if I get good, I can do that. You don't want that. And Antonio Brown is learning. I'm telling you, Skip, what's going to happen. Unfortunately, there's going to come a time that Antonio Brown is going to lose a little bit of lateral quickness. He's not going to be as explosive as he was.
Absolutely.
And you know what happens to those guys? They're going quick. They're going quick.
All right.
Larry Fitzgerald is not the Larry Fitzgerald that we know and love.
He moved inside.
He moved inside. But he kept his mouth shut. He doesn't criticize anybody. And granted, like I said, I believe the Steelers organization bear a lot of responsibility in this.
I got it. But speaking of that organization, is it possible this was their game plan all along? We asked high. Because remember, first they wanted a first and a player on top of the first, right? Yeah, nope, that's not going to happen. Maybe they asked high, thinking, well, if somebody's crazy enough to give it, we'll go ahead and part ways.
Take it.
But the odds are we won't get it, and we can turn to Antonio at the end of business today and say, you know what? We tried, and we just can't get back what we think you're still worth. So I guess we're going to have to try to figure it out going forward with you here. No, I don't know.
You see that?
No, I don't see how that happens, Skip.
He's moved on.
I don't see how that happens.
He has clearly moved on. I'm not sure they have. I'm just not sure.
How do you go in there after you said that about the quarterback, after you said what you said about the head coach, after you said all these things? First of all, how do you look how they treated Le'Veon. Le'Veon wasn't even there. And they moved on from that locker room had moved on from Le'Veon. I'm just trying to figure out how does the locker room embrace him? Because they realized Antonio walked out on them in week 17 when they absolutely needed him the most.
I agree.
Is when he pulled that.
All right, then my plan B would be one of these teams I read that are out, that they just wait until 0 hour, and they say, well, okay, I'll give you a third.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all well, let's take the third, right?
Yikes.
Something is better than nothing.
Yeah. That's not going to feel good for AB either, and he will not be happy if that's what goes down.
Because a lot of this, Skip, because remember when he and this reporter got into it, he said, the reporter said a lot of your success is based on Ben Roethlisberger. You don't know how fortunate you are. He said, trade me and see. So
that was a former PR guy who tweeted that. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. But here's the thing. So his ego is tied to getting a first-round pick. Oh, you didn't think I was worth it. Somebody gave up a first-round pick for me. It ain't the same if somebody give up a third or a fourth round for you.
It's not the same.
And let's not